The Anglican Diocese of Lafia, ably led by His Lordship, Right Reverend Godwin Adeyi Robinson, had her second session of the 9th Synod with the theme, Keep the Flame Alive on the Altar, taken from Leviticus chapter 6, verse 13 at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Kefi. The Synod started with an opening service sermon and Bible study which were anchored by Venerable Oliver Ofwebu, the Director of Mission and Evangelism Church of Nigeria. In his sermon, Venerable Ofwebu described the Synod as a retreat and that it is not enough to be born in a priestly family because much is expected. The preacher also decried on the level of spiritual sickness ravaging mankind, stressing that God is looking for partners to work with. The president of the Synod, Right Reverend Godwin Adeyi Robinson, in his charge to the Synod, described burnt offering as a voluntary daily sacrifice of total consecration, which represents a perpetual commitment to God, a symbol of God's presence, and the responsibility of the priesthood to sustain the altar fire without fail. The bishop also said that in the same way, the burning fire on altars is dependent upon one's personal walk and encounter with God, adding that this spiritual reality is echoed in the daily ceremonial burning commanded in Levitical worship. Speaking further, Bishop Adeniyi described altars as points of contact with the divine that forms the basis for our spiritual relationship with God. On the state of the nation, the bishop commended the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and extended the commendation to the governor of Nasarawa State for his developmental strides. The bishop, however, expressed with disappointment the erosion of public confidence in the judiciary, saying that once revered as the last hope of the common man, the judiciary now faces widespread distrust, saying judicial corruption, political interference, delayed justice, and conflicting judgments have eroded confidence in the courts. He then tasked the government at all levels on the need to improve security and public trust, saying that insecurity remains the most critical challenge confronting Nigeria today. From Boko Haram insurgency to IPOB agitations, rampant banditry, and recurring farmer-herder clashes, the nation continues to reel under waves of violence and unrest, among other national issues. The Synod ended with a Thanksgiving service in which the guest preacher, Right Reverend Dr. Olumuyiwa Ajayi, Bishop of Diocese of Panshin, said the theme is a command or authoritative speech by God, and failure to carry it out is rebellion. He stressed that the fire is not limited to the clergy alone, but also the laity, because 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9 calls it a royal priesthood. The Synod Thanksgiving service also featured Holy Eucharist. The Synod was also graced with the appearance of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Dr. George Akume, ably represented by his Chief of Staff, Chief Christopher Taka. Others are Right Reverend Mila K. Maza, retired, Engineer Joseph Ezerioha, the CEO Rick Rock Construction Company, diocesan officials, clergy, evangelists, laity, and other guests.